got that part. And they go, but we're married. I go, I figured, I jumped to that conclusion. I saw the rings. They go, no, sir, we're married to each other. Now, I'm ready to have a frickin' heart attack. And I go, excuse me? The guy goes, I would never be so dishonorable as to call this love of my life that four-letter word. I went, oh, my God. I go, what do you call her? He looked at her, and when he said this, they lit up like little kids. He goes, this is and always will be my high school sweetheart.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going, oh, my God. And she goes, and he's my sweetheart. And I just go, okay, so it's more than semantics. He goes, look, let me explain something. When we got out of school, I went into the Army. I got out. I came back. We were always true to each other and always have been. The thing is, I knew and she knew that we were going to be married. But when we came back, the ones that became swingers and the ones that treated their husbands like husbands and their wives like wives, it was like, I own you. You do this for me, and I do this. I'll put in the money here. You do this. It was like it was a piece of an object they owned, so to speak, right?
Like a real estate.
Yeah, and I own you. And he says, what we own is the opportunity each and every day that God gives us time to be together. We look over day to day. When we saw all of our friends that went through high school within 5 to 6 years, 7 years maybe, every one of them was divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to bring us over, get us drunk, and bring us over to the swinger parties. And we're thinking, hell, it didn't seem to work out too good for you folks. Why do you want to do this to us? So we lost a lot of our friends because we were squares now. And he goes, but that didn't matter as much to us as holding in our heart that we were sweethearts and always wanted to be sweethearts. And if that means we didn't have to go to parties, get drunk, and do wife swapping or husband swapping, that's okay with us. We decided we wanted to build a life. And we had certain things that we had to kind of invent on our own, like our what we call alone time. And I go, what's that mean? I go, is that personal? Or because it was very personal, I'm not going to go into those details. But basically, it was like, if God gave us 24 hours in a day, each and every day, we made a promise, if we were both, as long as God willing, that we were healthy enough, we would walk holding each other's hand, because there is no way to know your sweetheart by walking with her. I'm not talking driving in the car and holding her hand and going for a walk. And look, we started out with a half hour. We went up to an hour just because it gave us time away, and we'd pay a babysitter. Think of it like this. If you hold each other's hand and you walk away from the house 15 minutes, unless you're going to run away from the kids and everything else that you got there, you got to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another 15 minutes back. Now, as a young married couple, we had challenges like kids and all that, and sometimes the kids would be sick, so they wanted one of us there. It wouldn't be fair to our children to abandon them. But then what we did was we also, one day a week, had a 6 hour, up to 6 hours, that we would go drive up to the mountains and grab a piece of pie, just like sweethearts do. Like, when you think of somebody as your sweetheart, you just go, ooh, we got to get all this stuff done. So we'd work and help each other done with our little chores around the house. And they go, can you go? Yeah, I can go. I'm almost ready. And then we'd help each other, and then go hop in the car and go scurry on up. Go up to the mountains and, like, take time for each other. The thing is, what's so key to this story is, in the hustle and bustle of the world, they still remember that time is the most important factor, and the quality of the time. See, here's what I found with doing relationship counseling. Most people go from being soulmates, and they become cellmates. No longer are they sharing quality time, they're just doing time.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when they start seeing each other as a material possession, then all of a sudden they're amazed, like, how could you cheat on me? How could you this? How could you that? And I've heard some people that say, all people cheat. I don't believe that.
Neither do I. I'm with you on that.
Well, I mean, everybody in the community, almost everybody in the community will argue. And I'm going, whatever. I've worked with too many people. I've worked with a lot of people that do have polyamorous relationships, and they're. But that's not really cheating because it's their agreement. You can have what you want, and I get what I want, type of thing.
One of the reasons that they have the attitude that everybody cheats is, number one, they themselves cheat. Number two, that's all they're looking for. Because the only person that they end up getting are people who are cheating, so they assume everybody cheats.
Like attracts like.
Exactly. Except you never hear about the people that turn them down. Those people who are actually being faithful, they don't want to talk about every time they get rejected. They want to talk about every time they score. So if they're scoring with a bunch of people who are cheating, they assume, well, everybody cheats because that's the only person I get to bed with.
Well, exactly. And the ones that are being faithful or true and they're being with somebody, oh, they're bitches, or they have a bitch shield, or they're just, some fucking cunt with an attitude.
Exactly.
And I go, I don't know, man. I think she was a pretty cool chick. She didn't shoot you down. She just says, I got an old man. I'm not interested. I'm just here with my friend. She wanted to have a drink, and, okay, I'm old enough. I can go to a bar. But, she wasn't even drinking, but everybody was hitting on the one that wasn't getting drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's like people want to find a way to justify and look for the paint-by-number easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that also back to one of my original ideas notions was that people need to know how to be first with themselves, clear with themselves, and clear with their sense of purpose. A lot of times people have no purpose in any relationship, and then they wonder what happened. How did it all get away from me? Well, it was never there in the first place, or it was there only on a very mitigated version, or very short time frame. And there's different reasons that people pair up, for different types of reasons, Some it's for convenience. I mean, I've seen quite a bit of that. Be fair beyond, and also be truthful. When you're truthful to yourself and truthful to others, you're going to know if somebody's being truthful with you.
You're listening to Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles. We're talking with Steve P., and we'll be back right after this.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test, a man's guide to the emotional needs of women. Ladies, do you want the man in your life to understand you on your level? Do you want your man to be able to listen to and address all of your emotional needs? Show him how much you really want your relationship to be the best it can be. Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test makes a perfect gift. The book, written by a man, for men, is endorsed by every woman that reads it. This book is a guide for men to understand exactly what a woman means when she speaks. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.
Frank Talks is sponsored in part by The Eye of the Seducer, the Emotional Needs Analysis Workbook, Volume 1. This workbook is designed to teach you to use the Frank B. Kermit seduction theories in the real world. It is based on Frank's book, Everything Out of Her Mouth is a Test. What you're going to buy is the program developed by Frank as the head administrator of the Toronto Seduction Lair, specifically designed for newbies that want to learn relationship skills with women in the shortest time possible. These emotional needs analysis drills will skyrocket your success with women. This book teaches men how to think on their feet, not what to think. Never be stuck for something to say or do again.